bitch, you a bird, you thigh, you learn, you see, I earn, you stop. A word, I shoot, no rim, I'm high, you burn, I'm me, that's him, you nah, that's word.
Fighting at UFC Apex Center, March 23rd, Tough 31 finalist, Cody Gibson. Cody, how we doing, man?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course, dude. And we got to talk like briefly at UFC 292. I was in the media room, so we talked a little bit at media day, but glad we finally get to do this a little more, person to person. So a month out from the fight, how's the energy? How you feeling ahead of this one?
It's been good. You always get a little worn down,
Yeah.
Especially just trying to balance all the things in life that there are. It's not even just the training. I mean, that's going to wear you out no matter what, but trying to balance your personal life and your work life. And yeah, it's always, especially around Thursday, Friday, I start feeling like, man, I'm starting. Sunday is my rest day. So it's like, I literally attempt to do a lot of nothing, but usually I end up doing not working out, but just stuff around my house and things like that,
Dude, like, I don't know. I'm a newer homeowner. It's been like a year or 2 years now, but your off days are just house days. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have like kids and a family. So yeah, it's crazy.
That's why I'm always advocating for, we should switch to a 4-day work week, man. We need that Monday to like actually do our grocery shopping, laundry. Otherwise, you only get Saturday because Sundays, once you have a family and house and all that, that's what you're doing. Yeah.
100%, dude. And so I mentioned UFC 292. My personal fight of the year last year against Brad Katana. It was a fantastic fight through and through. Now the question is your next debut, not a tough finale. So how does it feel to be back, normally in a real fight? Like, is that pressure off of winning the tough finale? Like, is this good to feel like to be in a normal fight?
Yeah. I don't know. I think one thing I learned about myself on the show and even the aftermath of the show is, there was just a big spotlight, and there was a
Yeah.
lot of spotlight. And I mean, you want to put yourself in those positions where you're at media day or you're, getting a lot of requests for interviews and, things are blowing up and people are showing interest in your fight. Obviously you want those things, but a normal like fight week, like, or fight camp and fight that's not a finale and not on a big pay-per-view card. And I'm not a huge fan of fighting at the Apex, but I do kind of like it's a little more low key and I kind of enjoy that. So that's just one thought I had. But yeah, it is nice. It's nice to, I do feel like I'm in a, I lost in the finale fight and still got a contract. And, not that my back's against the wall, but I gotta go out and fight a really tough guy and perform and be successful and get a win, that's as simple as that. It's pretty black and white. I know what I got to do. Just got to go do it.
How many fights did they give you? How many fight deal you on?
They had us sign contracts. Once we made it to the finale, you signed 2 contracts. You signed a contract for the winner and you signed a contract if you lost the finale. Not that they necessarily were going to keep you, but just if they wanted to, you were already locked in. And so, yeah, I think it's like a 7 or 8 fight contract. The money wasn't quite as good if you lost that fight. So it wasn't just the getting half the money for that fight. It was the projected future as well. So, I know a lot of times they renegotiate sooner than a 7 or 8. I'm hoping, but
Sure.
I'm chasing bonuses. So, that's where my money is.
So yeah, like, is this part of your career now, this next step, like money, bonuses, exciting fights? Like, do you plan on getting those 7 or 8 fights, all of them in?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it. I see it as like, all right, you're 36 years old. You've been fighting for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've had over 30 fights. And you've been given this second opportunity in the organization that you've kind of always been trying to get to or get back to. And what are you going to do with it? Like, here it is in front of you. What are you going to do with it? And how are you going to approach it? And for me, I just know, like, getting bonuses, having fun fights. When I got the text that it was Davey Grant, I was like, hell yeah.
Good one. Yeah.
If he's the guy that's going to bring it, I know I'm in for a fight. and it's going to be a fun one, I think. So, yeah, it was kind of, that's my thought process. So that's where I'm at mentally, is like, obviously winning is vital and important, but definitely becoming a fan favorite fighter, like a Billy Q or a Matt Frivola, or, some of the newer guys that you're seeing that are kind of have that fan friendly, they might not ever be champion, but man, everybody's tuning in to watch them fight because it's going to be a hell of a fight. And so that's where I'm trying to get to, is I want to make sure everyone's tuning in and people are talking and we're getting bonuses. My wife tells me you need performance bonuses, not fight of the night bonuses. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's what my wife would be saying too, man. Because fight of the night, you get a little boom, boom, get a little beat up there in that one. But that's a good segue to my next question, because obviously you're a teacher, and I asked you a question about this at media day too. But like, how do your students react to that fight, which was a fight of the night type of bonus? You both got rocked up, and then like, how do they react to this upcoming fight? Like, I know they get excited, but put me in their shoes a little bit.
I mean, to be honest, I don't talk about myself fighting all that much. Like, my day at work it's about the kids and like, what are they going? And honestly, they're at that age of between like 12 and 14 where the world really does revolve around them, I don't know how many times I've like said something to a group over here or a kid over on this side of the room or in the gym or something, and someone somewhere else thinks I'm talking to them, and it's just their mindset, like everything is. So it's very easy for me to kind of go under the radar with the fighting stuff. I use it more as like to teach lessons about like hard work and like persevering over obstacles, and just stories of my fight career that I think applied that could be helpful to them. But I don't really focus on me at work that much. I mean, a lot of them like to follow me and like sometimes they'll ask questions, but to be honest with you, they're very much about themselves, and that's where they're supposed to be and how they're supposed to be. So I'm fine with that.
I'm just saying, man, if I was like a 12 to 14-year-old, when I was 12 to 14, if my, seventh grade is that, eighth grade, ninth grade?
Yeah.
If my teacher was a UFC fighter, I'd be up his ass every class after every class. Like, yo, like, Mr. Gibson, what's up with this? Like, can I meet your friends? Blah, blah, blah. So it's still awesome regardless, man. And it's just makes you like a better role model. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think when kids see you doing hard things, and I mean, we probably all have had that experience where we had like a PE teacher who was like some fat guy who like never worked out. Yeah. Or at least at that stage in his life, like didn't work out, and he's like preaching, yelling at you to run and all this stuff, and you're like, why don't you get off your ass and run yourself? And so I like to talk to my kids about what I do and when I do it and how I do it, and so they can't say that. They got to be like, well, my old teacher's born in the 80s and he's still doing it, so
So part of the reason I was excited we got this interview in today is because, do you know what happened 10 years ago on this very day?
No.
It was your UFC debut against Aljamain Sterling.
Oh.
On the day, my friend.
It makes sense. I remember the time frame. So 10 years ago?
February 22nd, 2014, man.
That's wild.
Like, so the question going off that is like, reflect on that for a second, man. Like, did you ever imagine it would go like this? Like you're in, you're out, now you're back in, like your career's gone so much. Like, how does it feel to, have 10 years under your belt like that?
It flew by, I'll tell you that much,
Yes, sir.
But I mean, yeah. I remember when I got cut from the UFC and Sean Shelby did his usual thing where he says, go win some fights and we'll get you back, He probably says that to everybody when they cut him, but
probably, yeah. Easier on the way out.
And that was my mentality, was like, I'm going to go win some fights and get back, I felt like I underperformed, or I was better than I, showed or whatever in my mind. And little did I know that it was going to be 8 years, lots of fights, and then an Ultimate Fighter show. Yeah, wild.
Well, hey, man, you made it. And March 23rd, you get to kick it off again. And then I have a request, and it's not a legitimate request, but it's more so like, I've been watching you fight for a while, but I don't know if you've ever done this. I don't think you have. I know you're a big Vision Quest fan. I saw you tweeting about it. Every wrestler in the world, including myself, we love Vision Quest. So Ever have Lunatic Fringe as a walkout song? Would you ever consider that?
I would for sure. I mean,
Dude,
that
it's a good
movie,
one.
it's so like I don't know. There's just like nostalgia around it, and
Yeah.
yeah, I saw that thing the other day about it, and I was like, yeah, this is badass, man. But I
Dude,
don't. I'll go like 2 or 3 years without watching it, and then I just like have to sit down and watch it again.
anytime that song Lunatic Fringe comes on at Jiu-Jitsu, I'm like, all right, we got to go this round, man. It's a good one. So yeah, if you walk out to that song, I'll be very hype. I'll be hype already, but I'll be extra hype for you.
Yeah, we're at the apex. I don't even know how much, you know.
It's all right. I'll be on my couch yelling up and down. I'm all the way in Philly. I don't make it to Vegas yet, but
Oh,
I'll
is
be.
that where you're at? Philadelphia?
Yeah, I'm like an hour outside of Philly. It's a
Okay.
good spot, close to New York, Jersey, Philly. It works out, man.
Yeah, man. I like the fighters that come out of there.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the
good gym,
history.
dude. They got
Yeah.
like Petrosky, Brady, Sabatini. There's a bunch of them, but they're good dudes, man.
Yeah,
Would you
for
ever
sure.
you ever consider coming to Philly to train? I don't know if you know any of those guys.
I don't know any of them, but I just like there's certain like areas of the country and gyms in particular and guys that train there that I just feel like you vibe with, you know, like the New York guys, like Aljo and his team. I
They're
like
good
a
guys
lot.
too. Yeah.
I've been around them quite a bit. I like those guys a lot. And the Philly guys, I don't know them really personally. I don't know Brady or anybody personally, but like you hear them talk and you're like, I think I dig those guys because they're kind of like the blue collar, like put your head down and shut the fuck up, work, you know.
Oh, that's Philly MMA, man. They're all like that, but they're all like real good dudes. Like I don't know, I've talked to a lot of fighters, and I think you guys would mesh. You guys are both like down to earth, real people. But
Yeah.
Cody, before I get you out of here, two more questions. One, I know you've been asked this, and you'll probably be asked it more and more, but where the hell is Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor? Are we ever going to see this fight?
Dude, I know it seems like every time they're about to announce it, or like there seems to be rumblings from them or whatever, and then it like something happens or something is said that kind of seems like it's not happening anytime soon. Um, and I don't know all the details, but I wonder how much Connor's movie obligations are getting in the way of setting a date. To me, that makes sense with when the movie's coming out, and I mean, you sign those contracts, you have obligations for promotion, and if he can't do a training camp because of those obligations, because he seems like he wants to fight, you know, Chandler's ready to fight, so it's like, you know, they were ready for. I think they both wanted UFC 300 or June International Fight Week, whatever. But now they're saying the fall, and so I'm wondering if that's the reason, and I'm hoping that's the reason. And then, you know, once he's done with this thing, they can do their thing. But time is definitely ticking away, and yeah.
Dude, everyone wants to see that fight, especially you guys who were with them a whole season, and Chandler doing the call out on WWE last week. It's just like, let's get it going, man. Like, I hope it happens soon. Because as much of a McGregor fan as I am, just growing up and him getting me really involved in the sport, Michael Chandler is owed more than owed this fight. It's like, dude, let's go. So hope UFC can make some progress there. And then my last question, Cody, the championship of your division is going down, UFC 299, Sean O'Malley, Cheeto Vera. How do you see that fight playing out?
Um, I'm gonna have to go with O'Malley. I think Cheeto surprises me. I bet, you know, I well, I don't bet, but I think in my head he's gonna lose more often than he's gonna win, and then he goes
Sure.
out and wins. Um, and he looks impressive sometimes to me. There's definitely impressive in a lot of ways. Cheeto is, and he presents problems, but I just think O'Malley's a slick striker. Um, I think he's a super slick striker, and I just don't see Cheeto having the wrestling abilities to get him down consistently. So I don't, you know, it's gonna be a stand-up fight. And Cheeto's dirty. I mean, he's not going away anywhere, you know, but I don't know. I think O'Malley gets it done. I'm more interested in Marab. I don't think Cheeto should even be getting the shot.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really. Is it just because he's popular in Ecuador or whatever? Like, is that like I don't
Hey,
really.
man, UFC likes to sell fights more than they like to give ranked fighters the fights they deserve. And I'm not even really talking smack, but that's why it's the more popular fight, people think.
I guess, but and there is some you know, some history there with the first fight and everything. And I actually like Cheeto. I think I have a lot of training partners and friends that are friends with him and know him well. But I do think O'Malley's he's slick, man. He is definitely slick. I think Merab's going to beat him. I think that's the next champion is Merab. I think if he could not get knocked out and he could just get his hands on him, even just one round where he could start tiring him out and kind of take some of that juice away, I think I think Merab's the man. I love that guy. I want to fight that guy. I want to train with that guy. I want to hang out with that guy. He seems like a good dude.
Dude, his gas tank it's unbelievable.
It's insane, man. And he's just so relentless. He doesn't care if he gets the takedown or not. His striking's gotten way better than it was, just a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, he there might not be an MMA fighter with a more fitting nickname than the Machine.
Literally.
Yeah.
He's a machine. It's insane. But Cody, appreciate your time, man. We went a little bit past how long I said we would. Before I get you out of here, anything you'd like to say to all your fans? If so, the mic is yours, man. Take it away.
Man, just tune into the fight. It's another Apex show, and everybody complains about that. But me and Davey Grant are gonna try to blow the roof off that place with all 70 people or whatever the case is. And so yeah, tune in. It's gonna be a good one. And I want to say my wife is due we have 2 daughters. We're about to have a baby boy. She's due 7 days after my fight.
Oh, wow.
So, if you're the praying type or you got to rub a crystal ball, but don't have the baby while I'm in Vegas, if we could put some juju in that direction, I'd appreciate it.
We're going to ask the MMA gods to hold off on this beautiful baby. Just 2 or 3 days. That's it. But ladies and gentlemen, March 23rd, going to be a banger. Cody, thank you so much, man. Train hard. Congrats on the new baby. And we'll talk after that win, yeah?
Sounds good. Good talking to you. Thank you.
Howie! There we go. Hey! We got to have a high guard on the exit! Circle now!